in the language? Arabic numericals. They called Arabic, correct? Yes. Without these Arabic numericals, the computers wouldn't work, correct? Then computers are universal. Whether it is done in Japan or in China, most of it is done in China now. True? With our language, this is Arabic numericals. If you go to old Arabic manuscripts in Spain, which, like the one which I deciphered, it was using these numbers. Count how many angles here. How many angles here? How many angles here? How many angles here? Should I continue until you? Let's see this hard. 6. How many here? Even the domino. Correct? Where is the 0 came from?
No angles.
Round and round. Correct? This is what the Arabs learned from the Indians. From Sanskrit. If you go to the Science Museum, you will find that in the Sanskrit, in the Indian civilization, they will tell you that this is what the Indians has produced to the world. The zero. The concept of nothing. Why the Arabs? Nothing. Completely nothing. Why the Arabs believed in this, that this is a meaning? That's infinity. You go around and round and round and round, it's not ending. While in the R we have to cut it to me, because it has a start and has an end. Can you see why? When I wanted to borrow the same sign, remember, when you learn how to write, you have to learn either to do a circle or put a line, correct? Anything is apart from them. I'm trying to go to the very basics. So the Arabs believed that the zero has a meaning because there was nothing, and this world is coming to nothing. The concept of nothing is very accepted in Islam. كان ولا مكان. There was nothing. Allah created and everything, and there was nothing. الأول والآخر والظاهر والباطن. And everything is going to, all of it, to nothing again. This concept of Big Bang, where the zero is going to explode to everything, and then all is going to be rubbed again into nothing, made the Arabs take the language of numbers far beyond the sticks put together in the Roman way and difficult letters into the 10, 11, 12, plus that the number itself, 10 is in the Quran. Remember this, 11 is in the Quran. أحد عشر كوكبا. If you go to the numbers of the Quran, it will give you everything in mathematics, the basics of mathematics. Did I confuse you enough? Now, can you see how the sign has a meaning? Now, yes, they consider that this is what? Do I need to tell you that this is? Huh? It's mine. Why these emoticons became now so easily understood? And what about this? Huh? Sad. As simple as this. But in the cave time, in the early times when there was only very limited resources, the humans were as intelligent, if not more intelligent than we are nowadays. They were more intelligent. If we give it enough reflection, we'll discover that they have invented the wheels well before us, and we don't need to reinvent it.
I have a question.
What else? That's not, that is the open thinking more than real teaching. Remember, there are two levels of knowledge here. The first knowledge is knowledge which is passed on And when I'm talking here about the Quran, I'm talking about something which will preserve no human intervention there at all. Whether it is in the receiving, from the start of the receiving of the revelation by Prophet ﷺ, to the preservation, to the memorization, to the transmission, to the compilation, to the recording, that's all of this by Allah Azza wa Jal. No one can tamper with this evidence. Even if they destroy the whole Muslim ummah. If the last believer on earth disappears, then only Allah Azza wa Jal will take the Quran out. That's not anything related to humans. Ar-Rahman allama al-Quran. And there is another knowledge which is by observation. I showed you about some of my observations, which is the R and L. That's just a sample of the language. And I told you about other observations, which is the angles, which has been observed by others and universally accepted as the best way of a universal mathematical way of writing the numbers, so that all nations on earth can speak the same language. At the end of the day, everything is mathematical in this world. إِنَّا كُلَّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقْنَاهُ بِقَدَرٍ. By a measure. Measure means mathematics. So you have to differentiate between the two. In our observation, we discover more and more the mathematics of things. In the transmission, we have to stick to it. لا يأتيه الباطل من بين يديه ولا من خلفه. And this is the difference between the Quran and any other resources. When Prophet ﷺ was told, اقرأ, قال ما أنا بقارئ. If it is right and transmission of knowledge, I don't know. And then Allah in the answer, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. خلق الإنسان من علق. He is going to receive a revelation wahy. And he is chosen as a illiterate person to receive it, so that no one has a doubt that this is not his effort, or this is a human intelligence, genius, who can write such beautiful melodies, as some people describe the Quran, who are closer to Kufr than to Islam. And the knowledge which is accumulated, al-Akram, Akram, generosity. The knowledge is so generous. By the time we inform, we already has published a study. By the time the knowledge, we have written it down, it has already multiplied. Al-Akram. ربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. The accumulated knowledge of humans is exponentially expanding. What was in the very secret 10 years ago, now in the mobile phones of children. The humanity is knowledge. Al-Akram. علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. Can you see in the same first ayat of the Quran, Allah Jal has told us about the knowledge of wahy, which Prophet ﷺ يقرأ and will become Quran, and the knowledge which is transmitted by وَمَا كُنْتَ تَتْلُو مِنْ قَبْلِهِ مِنْ كِتَابٍ وَلَا تَخْطُوا بِيَمِينِكَ. You are not reading or writing with your right hand. That's different.
Could you linguistically break down these 4 ayat from Surah Al-Qiyamah? إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا جَمْعَهُ وَقُرْآنَهُ فَإِذَا قَرَأْنَاهُ فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَهُ ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا بَيَانَهُ.
طيب. To understand this ayat, we have to understand that Prophet ﷺ, when the Quran was revealed to him, he was reacting as a human, and he was growing with the Quran. So when Sayyidina Jibreel was reading the Quran, he will move his lips. So Sayyidina Jibreel is reading, and he will move his lips with the reader. This way, we tell people, if you want to learn Quran, move your lips with the reader. And if you see the good readers of the Quran and you can follow their lips, even if you don't, if they put the sound down, and you move your lips with the reader, you will see that you are pronouncing actually the letters. And this is called harakat, very expressive language. So Prophet ﷺ was moving his tongue, not just his lips, his tongue. لا تحرك به لتعجل به. You are in a rush, in a hurry, you want to memorize it before it is finished. Allah is telling his Prophet, don't do that. You don't need to do that. لا تحرك به لسانك لتعجل به. إن علينا جمعه وقرآنه. It is on us to compile it together. Your heart will to be compiled in your heart. جمعه لك في قلبك. As Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas commented this hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari. وقرآنه means say it in reading. Because when you read, you are pronouncing letter by letter. So it is already gathered, and then it is pronounced out in small pulses, like the waves which you have seen on your recorder. فَإِذَا قَرَأْنَاهُ فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَهُ. And when it is read, follow its reading. Now, اتباع هنا is something more than just it is follow the instructions. It's like living the instructions on the Quran. ثم إن علينا بيانه, and then on us to make it clear and clearly explained, to make it obvious.
By other ayat.
It's not just by other ayat. Now the Quran is the wealth of the Quran is now becoming more and more available. I remember when I started being interested in reading the Quran more than